Why did it have to be Girard Pringle? The Miami Hurricanes are losing one of their top running backs into the transfer portal. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The portal giveth, the portal taketh away, the portal leads to lawsuits. Crazy season in college football. I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. On this loaded episode, we'll talk with our special guest today about our outlook for the upcoming 2026 season, including the running back room, now that we're getting thrown for a loop. We will review the season and review that game on Monday night. But we'll talk about the latest update in the transfer portal. By the way, there are multiple portal updates, including, let me just say this, Duke's top receiver, Cooper Barkate, is in the transfer portal. And, they're thinking he might follow his quarterback, Darien Mensah, who is trying to get to Miami despite the current lawsuit. Let's talk with our very good friend here. It's not a Tuesday, but we'll call it a Truth Teller Thursday. Our week is so off, Bruce, after the Monday night game and the holiday weekend. So we'll do Truth Teller Tuesday on a Thursday. Bruce, I was very surprised. I went to bed early last night, and I wake up at around 6 a.m. this morning to find Girard Pringle in the transfer portal. I was a little sad. How did you react to that?
I don't know. Guys were leaving. Did I want him to leave? Not necessarily. Why he's leaving, that's another story. I'm not going to speculate.
Do you want to get into that? Because I think I'll say it's
more
more
than me. He didn't like his lack of playing time in the playoffs, and he wants to go someplace where he could start.
Yeah.
Why
so this was.
Why else would he do this now? And he's got Fletcher coming back, so that's more of a reason for him to want to leave. I get it.
Yeah. So Gabby Urrutia at 24/7 Sports said he was told on Tuesday that Pringle and his family were frustrated with the lack of playing time in the playoffs after he emerged in the back half of the season. The sense I got is they wanted to be here, but they needed to have some more conversations and intended to meet with Miami. The result, as Hayes Fawcett reported, Hayes Fawcett from On3, was Pringle electing to hit the portal. So this is like, I know like today's college football, Bruce, obviously there's more player leverage than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But, Miami had a very deep and successful playoff run. And yes, it was noticeable the lack of usage for Girard Pringle. Miami decided to really lean on Mark Fletcher, and I think that paid off, right? And then Marty Brown was getting the second team reps, and we only saw a little bit of Pringle. I also, there were some times when he was in there where he didn't look great in pass protection. But it's like, I'm a big fan of Girard Pringle, Bruce, but when it comes down, like if a player is making demands where like they need a guaranteed certain amount of playing time, then maybe moving on is the right thing.
Well, I think there's two ways to look at it. One, because of the deadline to enter the portal, he had to put his name in there, but that doesn't mean he's leaving. So let's look at it like this. He did this. He gets some leverage. Do I think Mario is going to tell him, don't worry about it, you'll get more playing time next year? No, I don't think Mario would ever tell anybody that. Now, it's too late to get into the portal, isn't it? For our guys, we had the 5 days. It's over. No, wait, we still.
No, it's not over. Yeah, the 5 days are still going on.
So Marty Brown could still enter the portal because I saw some rumblings about Nebraska. So
he's not leaving here for Nebraska. No, it's not happening.
If he's going to start, let him go. Whatever, it's his call.
Yeah.
Especially now in light of Pringle being in there, because maybe Pringle will negotiate and they'll bring him back, and then Marty could be third string. So I think he'd rather go to Nebraska and start than be third string here. I'm just saying he wants to play. So you don't really know. But if he leaves, then I think Pringle will re-sign and stay. So it's kind of like, let's see what everybody does. But if Marty Brown doesn't enter, and they're not going to guarantee Pringle any more playing time. And you're right, his blocking left a lot to be desired. So, he did well when he got in there. But there's two or three elements. You've got to be able to protect your quarterback, or otherwise he's going to get killed. And he didn't do such a good job. So, he could talk, and his family could talk all they want, but if he wants to go, he's going to go. I don't see any other choice for him. Again, if I'm his family, if this is what he wants to do, if Miami says, here's more money, but I don't see them ever telling a kid, don't worry about it, you're going to start, or you're going to get X amount of starts. No, not when you got Fletcher, and if Marty Brown's still here. And I don't know if Jordan Lyle's going in there. If Jordan Lyle stays, to me, he's got a much better upside than Pringle. I just think he does.
Yeah, and I know
he loved that kid.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and I see some Miami fans have been in my comments like actually upset that Mark Fletcher is staying in school because they think that's costing us Girard Pringle. Like, first of all, I am such a huge Mark Fletcher fan. Like, I'm still grateful he decided to come back. And like, I got a newsflash for you. Like, Miami is fielding a team next year, and I know the Mensah stuff is technically still up in the air. I do expect Darien Mensah to end up at Miami.
Right.
And I think Barkate, his top receiver, who had 1,100 yards this past season and 7 touchdowns, is probably going to end up at Miami. Malachi Toney's coming back. We might be landing Damon Wilson at edge. You know what? I'm happy Mark Fletcher is coming back.
We got Van Javius Jacobs, receiver from South Carolina, who's great. So we're going to be okay.
So my point is on Fletcher, I'm so grateful Mark is coming back because guess what? Mark Fletcher will give this team the best chance to possibly actually win a championship next year. Yeah. So listen, man, I know Fletcher only has one more year if that costs us Pringle. So, I mean, you talk about the running back room, Bruce. My somewhat educated prediction is obviously we know Fletcher's back because he tripled down on it. He's not going to the NFL. I expect Marty Brown to be back.
Me too.
It looks to me like Pringle is probably going to leave. He's been getting overtures for weeks from the likes of Alabama and Georgia. Now, this is Locked On Canes, not Locked On Karens. So I'm not going to complain about tampering and file a lawsuit the way the Duke Blue Devils would do. It is what it is. That's the game. So I think Pringle at this point is probably going to leave. And I think Jordan Lyle might come back, Bruce, which is something, if you told me like a month ago that Pringle would leave and Lyle would come back, I'd say you have it reversed. But I don't know. I feel like that's the direction this is trending.
But Alex, what would be the market for Lyle this year after what he did or didn't do? He didn't do much at all.
Yeah.
So where is he going to go and be guaranteed a starting spot? He didn't do anything.
No, it's true.
Last year he flashed. This year he did nothing. Yeah. Look, I know, I'm telling you, they told him you better start getting ready for next season and be mentally ready. You got to lose a little weight because you lost speed and quickness. They'll work with his body and they'll work. And I think the kid still could be the backup to Fletcher or part-time starter. He's that good, but he showed nothing this year. I think JoJo's coming back.
Yes.
So there's a lot of potential with this team. Now, Bell's leaving. So
that became official yesterday.
Kid from Colorado, it seems like Oregon jumped in lately. It's LSU and Miami. We're still in it. I don't know where they stand money-wise because they're going to have to pay a fortune to get him and a fortune to get Mensah here. But if they have the money, just pay it and be done with it. Because next year, at this time, we could be celebrating a national championship. We could be that good. That good.
And we came so close this year. When we come back, I want Bruce's review, not only from the disappointing national championship game, but really a remarkable season. And I know for a lot of us, it still might be too soon to break down what a great year it was. But you think about the wins that Miami got in just one season. It's incredible. And we have to talk about the tight ends coach leaving because we do have some turnover on the coaching staff. You want to keep it locked right here. We got the truth teller with us, and we're only getting started here on Locked On Canes. Folks, there's nothing like college basketball season. And by the way, the NHL season is going on. Our Florida Panthers, the Miami Heat. I love these packed arenas being right in the middle of it. The energy, the moments you remember forever. But actually getting tickets, that part used to be frustrating with long queues, logins, and prices jumping at checkout. But that's why Game Time gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to unlock amazing college football tickets, college basketball tickets, all concert tickets, all these experiences. You unlock them in just a few taps. Folks, I love being able to see the view from my seat in the app before buying, so I know exactly what I'm getting. I'm looking at tickets to Miami's next home game in hoops, starting at just $5 on the Game Time app. And knowing that the prices include all the fees up front makes the whole process stress-free. So take the guesswork out of buying college basketball, NBA, NHL, concerts, all these tickets, folks. Take advantage of Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. And if you're an everydayer, make it official by joining the Everydayer Club. You want to click the link in the show notes below or go to lockedoncanes.supercast.com. You get exclusive episodes when you join the All Access tier. You get an exclusive newsletter, one-on-one text access with me, a discount to the Locked On merch store, and so much more. lockedoncanes.supercast.com. All right, so
Alex,
Bruce,
let me just make one last comment about Pringle. We
Yeah.
don't know what happened. You're telling us the story that the family wasn't happy with his lack of playing time. What we don't know is if they had gone to Mario already and discussed it with him, and whether or not he said, listen, I can't guarantee anything. I don't know what to tell you. I want you back here. You're a great player. You got to work on this. You got to do that. You know, these guys are probably coming back. Your call. And if they said, okay, fine, we're going into the portal, or they haven't spoken to him, which I really doubt. You know, good player, but he's not the end of the world if we lose him.
No, it's not.
But
ultimately,
yeah,
I'd love to have him back. Look, if these fences can be mended, you know, I'd love to have him back because I do want to say it seems like, you know, I know we talked about, like, apparently his family was unhappy. It seems like his family is really nice from the interactions that I've had, and like I hope this fence can be mended. I'm just, you know, hearing some smoke for Alabama, especially, and a little smoke for Georgia. I'm just not so sure, right?
Hey,
so we'll see what goes on.
About Fletcher, you know, he's coming back, but he missed some games this year. He gets hurt a lot. He carries the ball a lot. He gets hit a lot. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that's his call. It's his career. It's his family. This is the last year for Fletcher. Isn't it is it one more year left for Marty? This is his last year too.
I think Marty technically has 2 years left.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he bolts, then maybe Pringle will change his mind. If he hasn't already, you know, put his foot in his mouth to the coaching staff and they said, listen, get out of here. We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know.
But I like the kid. He's a good player.
Yeah.
You know, so all right, let's move on to the season in review.
Well, hold on. I want to move on first. Reaction to tight ends coach Cody Woodle he's headed to Ole Miss. He's from Mississippi, so it makes sense he's joining Pete Golding's staff there. Now here's the thing, like if somebody were to tell me, hey, you have to pick one position coach that Miami's going to lose after this season, Bruce, the group that underperformed the most out of every position group on the field, nobody underperformed more than the tight end room. And you can't say that that's all on coaching, personnel, whatever. But, you know, I wish Coach Woodle the best, but that's an area we could probably use the refresh button.
Let's look at what happened.
Yeah.
Who left before the season started at tight end who we thought was going to be here?
Oh, Riley Williams.
Yeah. And so we figured he's not going anywhere. He go to Oregon State. So that didn't help. That didn't help.
No,
and we also know that Lofton didn't really do much. He was injured, and I don't know what he did this year, but he needs to get his head together. You know, Luca is a young kid. The other kid bolted at the end of the season, Brock shot. So it's kind of hard to point the finger at the coach because he didn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah,
he was limited. So I can't blame him, but he's gone. We'll replace him in 2 seconds. Not worried about it.
Yeah.
But Luca Gilbert looks like he's going to be up for a big year next year, and Lofton as well. You know, and then we have enough weapons and enough talent that at the wide receiver position that any tight end that comes in is going to get single coverage. He should be wide open. I mean, we threw it at Bauman a lot this year. He only caught the balls that were right in his hands. Anything else that he had to reach for, he couldn't hang on to it. He just couldn't.
And I can't get over that block that he missed on that
I
punt.
know that to me was the play, not the interception that killed us. Because if that didn't happen, we would have won with a field goal at the end. He never would have thrown that pass. He would have just shoved it down their throat, and hopefully the kid made the field goal because he missed 3 against A&M, and he missed the other day. That's 4 he missed. Yeah. And so, but he's gone. It is what it is.
So, and by the way, I don't know what Miami's hot board looks like for the next tight ends coach. So I'm not speaking for them. I'm just speaking for me. I know some of the names that are going to come up. James Coley. Anytime you have an offensive opening at Miami, James Coley's name is going to come up. He has coached tight ends. I think he's coached every position group on offense except maybe offensive line. So Coley's name will come up. Todd Hartley's name is going to come up. Mm-hmm. I've seen some fans. There's like a groundswell of support for Edwin Pata, who used to be on Miami staff as an assistant O-line coach, who's at FIU. A lot of folks would, these are fans speaking, would like to see him come back. And, sometimes there can be some versatility. Like Mario Cristobal has coached tight ends before, despite being an offensive line guy. So, again, these are just like fans' wish list names. I don't know what the actual hot board is going to look like. But like you said, it shouldn't take Miami very long to find a tight ends coach. And I also wonder if Stephen Field, who's still on the staff, who's actually on the road recruiting as the tight ends coach right now, he works in the recruiting department. I wonder if there's a chance they may move him back to tight ends coach. That's another name to watch for.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's not my call. It's not something I concern myself with. It's a minor thing that look, the kids have to improve. I expect Lofton, but I expect them to have a great year this year. I just think Luka Gilbert's got an amazing upside. He's so big, and he's got a catch radius that's really, really high. So, and he can go deep because he's not. He's a long strider. He's 6'6", 6'7". He can run.
Yeah,
so
he's huge.
Yeah, it is. There's other guys that we have. Josh Moore, I think he needs to get more playing time. He had his moments, but then it kind of faded a little bit. I still believe that Beck does not have the arm strength that we hoped he had because he floated a lot of balls this year. Yeah. I don't want to keep complaining about Dawson, but I just thought the entire game we had absolutely no rhythm on offense. None. Yeah. Not some, none. We were not, anytime we got the ball, I didn't know what was going to happen because I don't know if he was even prepared. They kept on stuffing the run. They kept on blitzing from the outside. I don't know why. I said this on Gary Furman on King Sport Live Tuesday night. I said, how on earth could in this day and age an offensive coordinator not have a legitimate screen, not those bubble things, but a screen where you suck the lineman up and you dump it to the flat and the guy takes off. Now, I would have put Brown and Fletcher in the backfield, fake the handoff to one, let the other one go into the flat and throw him the ball. Both of those guys are tough to tackle, hard to bring down, and make yardage when there isn't. That's why I would have done that. And I'm going to still complain about Dawson until he changes it because I'm sorry, you're not going to win games without throwing screens. You're going to get killed, and that's what happened.
Well, I want to take a look at.
I remember we had Van Dyke. There was guys open in the flat. He never threw them the ball.
Yeah,
that was the whole issue. That wasn't Dawson here. So I don't know what it is.
He had 1 year. Van Dyke had 1 year of Dawson, and he had the 1 year of Josh Gaddis, which was probably the worst offensive year.
Josh Gaddis would have a hard time coaching the little kids in Miami that Luther Campbell is involved with. Those kids.
Have you seen the meltdown that Luther's been having?
Yeah, I saw that meltdown. You know what? He's my friend, and I'm still trying to get him on the show, but he's wrong. I don't know whether he called Ray out in public. I don't know. But those are his kids, and he's going to stick up for them. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I want to get a season in review from the truth teller when we come back because it's been an amazing journey. Ultimately it ends in heartbreak, but I see all these like Florida and Florida State fans talking trash about Miami losing in the national championship game. Sorry, losers. I wouldn't trade places with you under any circumstances. Yeah,
Bingo.
losing in a national championship game is painful, but I'd much rather go 13-3 and lose in a title game than go 5-7. You want to keep
well, there's a guy I know who's a major Gator fanatic.
Yeah.
They go to all the Gator games, and he's Gator this and Gator that, and we suck and blah, blah, blah. So I see a picture of him on Facebook with an Indiana jersey. And I said, you know something? You're a real bozo. I can't say what I really say. And I know him. But I said, are you out of your mind? These fans are fans of 131 other teams because they hate Miami. I only root for one team. Yeah, but any of these people, they just, you lost to SMU. SMU. Yeah. Where the hell are you? And B, where the hell are you going? The guy actually predicted that they're going to be in a national championship game next year in Las Vegas. Are you nuts? What kind of drugs do you take?
Strong ones. I mean,
hallucinogenic, LSD maybe. I don't know.
That's stronger than cocaine. I know.
Florida and Florida State need to shut their mouths and just, you know what? Just let it ride, because you ain't out recruiting this guy. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Well, you want to keep it locked right here. More thoughts on the season when we come back. We got the truth teller spewing his truths right here on this brand new episode. Keep it locked. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. And by the way, make sure you check out an episode we did early this morning. I spoke with, and I'm surrounded by attorneys today because Bruce Warner is also an attorney. But I broke down the Darien Mensah situation this morning with sports and entertainment lawyer Alan K. Fertel. This is his field, his area of expertise. He has very strong opinions on the Darien Mensah situation. He did, the conversation didn't completely go the way that I wanted it to, because Fertel did really say, hey, Duke has a very strong contract, right? But ultimately, he did predict that money will solve this issue and that Darien Mensah will likely end up a Miami Hurricane at the end of it. And a quick note on that, Bruce Warner, not only is Darien Mensah obviously trending to Miami once he gets through this legal situation. They have a hearing coming up on February 2nd, but Cooper Barkate, who was his top receiver at Duke, 72 catches this year, over 1,100 yards, 7 receiving touchdowns. Barkate hit the portal right at the deadline and is trending to Miami. So I think we can read between the lines on that one.
Listen, those deals that these schools are making, in Duke's situation, this is almost like blackmail. Does anybody really think that the kid is going to stay there, enroll in school, and play quarterback for them after this? No way. So this is just a leverage pitch to get Miami to pay whatever they can pay or more, because this kid was getting $8 million for 2 years. He already got $4 million. So you say he should get they should pay Duke $4 million. They're not going to pay them. They'll probably pay $10 million. Because they need him badly. They have leverage because Miami doesn't have somebody coming in to play quarterback. Who do they have? Luke Nickel? Come on. Yeah. So they're going to have to overpay to get this kid and his teammate. But you know what? What's going to be the end result? We're going to be back in the playoffs next year with a damn good shot at getting to the national championship game. I don't think it'll be against the Gators. I don't think.
Might be Indiana again, based on the way they've been rolling.
Yeah, I don't think so. We should have beaten them. We should have beaten them.
Should have.
We had them, but we blew it. We make mistakes at the wrong time. And talk about the season in review, that did come to bite us in the ass. Mistakes, interceptions, stupid penalty. We almost got a targeting in the first quarter when Keontae smashed Mendoza helmet to helmet. Wow, we were lucky on that. We beat Notre Dame, we beat A&M, we beat Ohio State, we beat Mississippi, we beat the Gators, we beat the Seminoles. So you know what? It's a hell of a year. Do I wish we would have beaten Louisville and SMU? It didn't matter because at the end, had we been undefeated and lost to Indiana, same result.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm not, I thought I would be angry. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed, which is a far cry from anger. Because I realize now what these kids have done, how they rallied around that after the loss to SMU. They had their own meetings. and they listened, and it looked like my scapegoat Dawson did change the offensive play calling, especially against Pitt, but he stopped doing it in the playoffs. It didn't happen. We weren't offensively, we were terrible for the most part in the playoffs. It just to me that just bothers. So much talent. So I have to look at it like maybe it is Beck. Maybe they just didn't want him throwing a damn ball because he can't. He just had some hard look. The pass he threw to Malachi out by the sidelines was a horrible pass. It was low and in the ground. I think there was something wrong. I don't think he ever really fully regained his arm strength. This Mensah kid who could run is going to be a big difference, especially with the offensive firepower we're going to have this year coming up, which is way better than the firepower we have now, especially with Fletcher coming back. Bell's gone. Hopefully we replace him. Defensively, if we get this Damon kid and we got Lowe and we got all these other guys.
Yeah, Marquise Lightfoot.
Lightfoot got a lot of playing time. Lightfoot's going to gain 20 or 25 pounds. He'll be up to 250, I'll bet.
Yeah, he played great.
I think we're going to be fine. We need to fix the linebackers.
Yeah.
The safeties, we need to make sure that they're good enough. But I really believe that next year we're going to win the ACC easily. We do have some tough games. What do we play? Notre Dame and Clemson back to back.
Oh, is it back? I don't know. I don't think they have the date. I don't know if it's back to back because I don't think the dates are finalized yet.
No, I got that from Mark. Mark told me that, so I don't know if it's true. But we're going to be just fine. Just fine. I don't think Clemson's that good. Notre Dame is good. Notre Dame is good. They got the kid got a lot of experience as a freshman, the quarterback. They'll be good, but they lose their back. They lose a bunch of players, right? They lost their defensive coordinator. So
they lose both of their backs. Although, like I'd say, hey, I'm glad to face them without Jeremiah Love, but Jeremiah Love only had 33 yards against us. So maybe their next back will do better.
Price was good.
I think Price is gone too. I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Price. Yeah.
Okay.
He was better against us than Love was.
Right, yeah. So what else do you have? The outlook for 2026?
Yeah, well, I just, I want to say like, yeah, well, I just, and I want to add to it, like, again, like I'm so grateful because you talked about the wins Miami got this year, Bruce. Like, imagine in a single season, you got a win against Ohio State, which to me, that was the greatest one of all. I loved beating Notre Dame, but the win against Ohio State, like I felt like I was exercising those 23-year-old demons from the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, but
right?
Ohio State beat Notre Dame last year in a title game, so we've knocked off the number 1 and the number 2 team this season.
That's right.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's really good.
And we out-physicaled them in both of the games, which in the last 20 years, we're not out physically anybody. We just like laid down like dogs.
Yeah.
And so
what
Mario has done is nothing short of a miracle, although I expected it because I respect him as a recruiter and as a coach. And now with the portal, what he's done in the portal, especially on defense this year, wow. So, we lose Blay also, don't forget.
Yeah, we lose Blay. And you said something.
We got the Ohio State kid, right?
Yeah. Jaquez Carter. Yeah,
we got him.
It's gonna be really good. And you said something a few minutes ago, Bruce. Like next year, I want to win the damn ACC finally.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's on. I mean, listen, Miami was able to circumvent the ACC championship game and still get to the national championship game. But the next thing on my bucket list is I want Miami's playoff run next year to include an ACC championship. That's what I want.
That would be nice, and I think a bye. Even though a lot of these bye teams struggle when they finally play after a few weeks off, I think we would be fine with that.
Yeah.
The bye means where you don't play at home, or you do play at home.
No, you don't. You only play at home if you're the higher seed the first week. If you have the bye, you don't play at home.
I'd rather have the bye. I don't want to have to play an extra game if we could help it. Yeah. And I made a comment on the show Tuesday, which may be stupid, but I think there may be something to it. They might have been exhausted. They were on the road 3 weeks in a row in high pressure situations, not being home, traveling back and forth. And I have a hard time. In human nature, they might have been emotionally tired, maybe physically, but emotionally tired from all of that and all the hype. And Indiana had 2 relatively easy games to get here.
Yeah.
We made them work. We played really hard, and we made them work for that because they easily, if it wasn't for that block punt, we would be the national champs, I believe. So I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Am I angry at Bauman? Yeah, I'm angry at Bauman. But it is what it is. And I just think next year and the years after that, we will be right where we are now. We got
well said. Well said as always by the truth teller. Man, we're going to keep doing this on Tuesdays, but because off season there's never a slowdown. We also will talk more about basketball from this moment forward, but there's never a dull moment, as you can see with the Mensah situation. Never a dull moment with the Miami Hurricanes football program. So shout out to the truth teller. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Make sure you join the all access tier of the Everydayer Club, lockedoncanes.supercast.com, and also make sure if you're in a custody battle that you give Bruce a call. Let the people know.
I'm getting a lot of calls. I'm helping a lot of people. They're calling me up. They're saying, I love you on the show, but I need help, and I'm helping these people as best as I can. So yeah, I do all these divorce and paternity cases. I have a child who was kidnapped last week. I was in court yesterday. I have to go back next week. The father took the kid to New Jersey, which he's not supposed to do, but whatever. Anyway, so you can reach me at 954-258-2525. It's simple, 954-258-2525, or my email, which is talkingdivorce, all one word, talkingdivorce @AOL.com. And I'll be more than happy to talk sports with you and talk about your cases. So I appreciate I'm getting a lot of calls from people and a lot of accolades about the show, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud. I'm happy that we're doing this show, and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing it.
Well, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you so much to the everydayers. We'll talk to everyone next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.